Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Unity Church of Overland Park. Yeah, there it is. I don't care what's on TV about the state of the economy. I don't believe most of what I see. What I know to be. God is so good all the time. God is so good all the time. God is so good, so good all the time, all the time. Well, I'm walking my faith, but not by sight. 'Cause what seems wrong today, tomorrow might seem right. All is well, and it's all good and unfolding as it should. God is so good all the time. God is so good all the time. God is so good, so good all the time, all the time. My God is so good through the highs and the lows, through my troubles and woes, through the peaks and the valleys. I can feel the Spirit inside me. So good, it's so good all the time, all the time. My God is so good through the darkness hour, through the troubles and the power. There's one thing that'll never change, is the grace of God. So good, so good, so good all the time, all the time, all the time. Through the highs and the lows, all the time. Through my ups and downs, all the time. There's one thing that'll never change, is the grace of God. So good, so good, so good all the time, all the time. My God is so good. 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 So good, so good, so good all the time, all the time. My God is so good all the time. Yeah.
Pancho! All right. Well, good morning. And welcome to Unity Church of Overland Park. We're so glad that you've chosen to join us this Sunday morning and to just hear this wonderful band. Pancho, it's wonderful to have you back. And I'd also like to welcome our guest speaker today, Steffany Barton. Steffany, it's so wonderful to have you back here with us. So welcome home. It's great to be here with you. So, Reverend Jan, would you open our service today with prayer?
I'd love to. And so we breathe into this moment. And we just take a moment to gently come home to ourselves. And we send out love and prayers out over our entire world this day. We surround the people in Nice, France, and all of those who were vacationing there with love, comfort, healing energy, wisdom, and understanding. I just heard that this morning between services there may be 3 more police officers shot in Baton Rouge. We send understanding, strength, wisdom, that we all may learn to listen to one another. Oh God, may we all see through the eyes of the Christ and see the beauty in other human lives. As we begin this season of of conventions. We also hold for peace, wisdom, understanding, and grace in Cleveland. That through this week, people will listen. Oh, may we be a people that sees with eyes of love. And so for this day, we open wide to the movement of Spirit in, through, and as us. And as we go through this time together this morning, we are open to that still small voice within each of us as to what may be our part in being peace and understanding and wisdom in our world. And so to our world, I say, peace, be still, and know that I am God. And so it is. Amen.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. We hear those words ringing out in our minds. And as we come to this time of conscious connection with the light that we are, with the I am of our being, we hear the words, I am so blessed. And yet we become aware that there is that voice that tries from within to say, yeah, but. And so we allow the list of the yeah buts to come to mind. Those things that our worldly experience uses to tell us that we are not blessed. We take this opportunity to feel those things. To not ignore them, but to instead realize the truth is that we are a part of something greater. And so for our list of yeah buts, we simply let them go. We feel them and we give them to God. And as we do, a lightness fills our body. We feel ourselves becoming unburdened with those things that we had used to weigh ourselves down. And in this moment, we realize the truth, that it is only us and Spirit. It is only us and the divine, us and the I am, us and God. There is nothing else. And in this moment, we know beyond knowing that we are one with that presence. We know that that presence is in us, that presence is us. And so we take this opportunity to commune with that presence, to move into the silence, and to allow that presence to direct, to inspire, to heal us as we move into the silence. And as we hear the music calling us back, we become aware of a sense of feeling of gratitude. A gratitude overflowing from within us, carrying with it the knowledge that from this moment on, we know beyond knowing that we are forever one with the light that we are. That light is always present, always available, always ready, listening for us to say, "Come forward." And so we move into this experience this day with a renewed commitment to shine the light that we are for our world. To be the love, the peace, the wisdom that we seek, knowing all the while that we are one. And so it is with that intention that we lift our voices now, singing our metaphysical interpretation of the Lord's Prayer, Holy, written by Fred Albers.
Creator of all, you are holy. I call you forth, you are holy. May my whole life become holy. May all that
good to be here together in community today, and I appreciate each and every one of you. So I got this new necklace with the little pearl accessories for the talk, and it came with this built-in microphone, because you never know when you're going to have an audience. My kids all want one, because the whole world is their audience, right? It's good to be home. So when I was in high school as a teenager, I was involved in a youth group at my Baptist church. Very active, had a very close and tight-knit church family. And we would attend services every Sunday, but one weekend, as it happened, we'd gone out of town to visit some relatives, and so we'd missed out on church that day. But as we were driving home, we turned onto our street, and I saw several cars that I recognized as belonging to members of the youth group. When I saw their cars in the driveway, I had a feeling deep in the pit of my stomach. I didn't know what was going on, didn't have specific details at the moment, but I knew something wasn't right. So we pulled into our driveway, and I hadn't even exited the car, and my friends came up to the van and said, "He's dead. He's dead." Over the weekend, one of our dear friends had ended his own life in a passionate and an unexpected and a senseless, tragic suicide. And in that moment, it felt like someone had cracked open my soul. The pain was so deep, it hurt. But I was a teenager. These things were not supposed to happen, and I decided to shut down. I was not going to feel that. And I told my friends, "Go away. I don't believe you. I don't want to hear about this anymore," because I couldn't deal with it. And they left. What I didn't know is that what I wasn't willing to look at was blinding me. What I wasn't able to feel was wounding me. And what I couldn't accept was starting to tear away at my ability to experience joy. I had to shut down. So, I brought with me today an oyster. It's an unassuming, very ordinary sea creature. You can find them probably on any beach. This is a bivalve, and as I said, it's rather ordinary, but it just so happens that the oyster is an amazing, masterful spiritual teacher of transformation. You see, the oyster has this top shell that connects it to the light. It's the above portion. And it has this lower part, too, that connects it to the earth, connects it to the sand. Now, in between these two layers is a soft body. It's called the mantle. It's a softness that's protected by the shells. But every now and again, sand or debris, something in the ocean, can penetrate, can enter that soft body, an irritant that can create a wound. And if the oyster doesn't do something about this irritation, about this sand, in time it will die. It can't survive. There's a lot of sand in our world. Every day we experience sand, pain sadness, judgment, guilt, tragedy, criticism. And it's difficult to feel these emotions, not just because they hurt, but because, especially as spiritual students, we know on a deeper level that God's in control, that there is a divine plan, that there is good in the world. And we know that, and yet sometimes it still hurts. Those feelings are hard. But I want you to know that feelings are important. Feelings are powerful because feeling is the first step in spiritual transformation. You have to feel it. Just like the oyster has to feel the sand before it can begin to heal it. So your feelings are powerful spiritual tools that can guide you to spiritual transformation. You have to feel it. So as I said, the oyster feels the irritation. It feels that sand and has to do something to heal it. So here's what happens. You see, the oyster has to use the material that it has inside. It uses its inner being to start coating layer by layer by layer this grain of sand in order to protect itself. Now, this substance is called nacre, or commonly known as mother of pearl. But the truth is, it's the very same material that that oyster uses to construct its shell. So this takes time, because if suddenly the oyster starts pulling away the material from its shell, it leaves it vulnerable to attack. And then in trying to preserve itself, it defeats its own purpose. But if it goes too slowly, if it doesn't coat this irritant, this sand, the sand will continue to wound. And eventually the creature will suffer and perish. So creating the pearl takes time. Feeling it and then healing it happens layer by layer by layer in time. Sometimes in nature it can take 35 years to cultivate a pearl because it has to happen in right time. But the oyster doesn't stop. It keeps healing until it has a pearl. Now, not too long ago at my house, in my home, there was a little bit of sand that was thrown. Not from the sandbox, though. You see, my daughter was putting on some makeup, and she had a makeup sponge. So after she was done, she took the sponge, and she kind of quickly squeezed it out, ran it through the water, and then put it in the soap dish so that it could dry and drain. So she walked out of the bathroom, and then only but a few minutes later, my son came into the bathroom. He needed to wash his hands. Now, he's a shorter guy, so he can't see all the way back to the sink, so he feels for the soap, of course, since he can't visualize. So he puts his hand up there and he grabs what he believes is the soap in the soap dish. He pulls it down and he starts to rub his hands, and he giggles. This is the squishiest soap I've ever felt. At that moment, my daughter's walking by the bathroom and hears this and knows immediately what's happened. Those cootie-laden hands are on her sponge. She ran into that bathroom and she said, "How could you? Why did you take my sponge?" She was angry. That was some sand. in her soft body. He's speechless. He didn't know. He thought it was squishy soap. So I took a step back, and I saw what was happening. And I had such compassion for her and such love for him. And I looked at her and I said, where did you leave your sponge? And she said, well, I left it in the soap dish. And she paused. She started to use her inner material, her inner substance, her thoughts, to change that irritant. She was making a layer. She said, okay, I'm not angry, but I am mad at you. You got my sponge dirty. And I said to her, he was trying to wash his hands. Kind of important to wash your hands. I know you want him to have clean hands. She said, yes, I do want him to have clean hands. That's true. But I'm really irritated that he touched my sponge. It was another layer. It was another layer. She had gone from angry to mad to irritated. And then he looked up at her and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And she breathed and she smiled. She said, whatever. That was a pearl. That was a pearl. She had taken that irritation, that sand, and it was anger to her. She's a teenager. That was very hurtful. It felt intentional. But she took that. She thought about it. She used a little inspiration, a little spirit. She felt it. But she was able to heal it. And she had a pearl of patience. Sometimes we have sand in our lives that looks like grief. But I pray that after today, you'll start to heal that. And with that grief, cultivate a pearl of peace. Sometimes the sand in our lives looks like illness. Today I pray that you can feel that and heal that and create a pearl of inspiration. Maybe up till today, your sand felt like separation. But I pray today that you'll use that feeling, you'll feel that feeling, but then you'll heal it and cultivate a pearl of love. And feel it and heal it with spirit. So I started my talk today sharing with you the story about my friend who'd taken his life. And I told you, I didn't feel that. At least not for a long time. You see, for 25 years, that sand stayed in my heart. But finally, I had the material, I had the inner substance to start to heal that, to embrace that, to learn from that. I felt the sadness and the pain. I felt the uncertainty. I felt the anger and the fear. But I prayed and I used spirit to cultivate compassion, insight, wisdom, and a whole lot of love. And I took that experience and I created a book with all that. So that book became my pearl, my offering of love. I don't know what your sand looks like. but I know we all have sand. But what I do know is this, that if you will feel it, Spirit will work through you and in you, and you will heal it. Because when I look at you all, what I see is a pearl. Thank you.
Once more, knocking at a locked door. Why I reach for it all, why I reach at all. Ran hard, worked it with my whole heart, reaching for it now. Again I fall. I've never had an easy ride, but now I've made up my mind. I will carry on, I will carry on, 'cause hope is never gone, hope is never wrong. It's time for me to leap beyond what I can see. Here I go again, one deep breath and then I will carry on. Once more, crashing right through that door. Won't sit still, not anymore. This is my time. Which way am I headed today? I don't care what they say, the decision is mine. I never had an easy climb, but still I made up my mind. I will carry on, I will carry on, 'cause hope is never gone, hope is never wrong. It's time for me to leap beyond what I can see. Here I go again, one deep breath and then I will carry on. The world will say give up, but I will not give up, 'cause this is everything I've dreamed of. So if it takes a lifetime, then I will surely wait until that day, 'cause I will carry on, I will carry on. Hope is never wrong, and hope is never gone.